This is a service where people can come, they can be treated with dignity, with a bit of respect.
From Monday, this centre will become the first place in the UK where people can inject their own drugs without fear of arrest.
So people come in here to the using space, which is staffed by nurses. They'll talk to the nurse sitting here about what equipment they're going to use today. So they'll get single-use equipment, there'll be a needle, a kind of spoon, some water, citric acid and a syringe. People will be allocated. As you can see, there's 8 booths. Staff will be observing, but you'll notice the mirrors we have here have got a very slight tilt to them. That allows us to observe, but still give people a bit of dignity and privacy, so you're not standing too close and standing over them. So once the person's used their drugs, they'll dispose of the needles and syringes and all the equipment in the sharps boxes we have there. Yeah, instead of out in the street, so it's much more hygienic for people.
Around the world, services like this one aim to reduce fatal overdoses and cut HIV transmission rates. But some are sceptical about how well used Glasgow's service will be. It's a mile away from the city's centre, where, under a railway station bridge, we met Robin, who uses heroin. He asked us to disguise his identity.
It's just going to give me an option of somewhere to go, but it can't be. See, my dealer's a mile that way, and your student's a mile that way. Do you think I'm going to use them? No, I'm going to the nearest close.
Staff accept the reach of this centre will be limited.
I've been very clear that this service on its own will not have an impact on the national drug-related death figures. We are going to be targeting the service at a very small and discrete population of people who experience the highest rates of harms and mortality, and I hope very much that it reduces the harms and drug-related deaths in that population. But it's not a silver bullet for the national crisis that we have around drug-related deaths.
The Scottish Government is spending £2 million a year on this service.
We've got to make sure that we reduce the number of drug deaths in Scotland. That's all published information.
Do you accept that this is not going to make a dent on the national statistics?
Well, I think it may well make a contribution towards that, and what we've got to assess and evaluate is what's the effect of an intervention of this type.
Some campaigns would say it's admission of failure, a focus on tackling immediate deaths from overdoses because of a failure by your government to invest in tackling the long-term problem through better rehabilitation and treatment programmes.
We've got a range of different interventions that we are making as part of our national mission on drugs. So, for example, we've expanded rehabilitation beds in Scotland by 20% since 2021, and the government's budget that's currently been scrutinised in Parliament will expand those rehabilitation beds further.
It's taken nearly a decade for Glasgow to get this approach off the ground. The work of the centre will be closely watched by critics and by supporters who see it as a starting point and would like more centres like the Thistle to open in other UK cities.